Uh, you guys, you guys. Just when you think you know a team, just when you think you've turned the corner, just when you believe that your team is trending in the right direction, you are humbled, you are reminded once again that you have a lot, oh, so a lot to work on. Blue City Empire, I have no words, my brother. You guys deserved to win this game. You guys deserved to win this game, Blue City. It was, this might have been the worst game of the season. What do you guys agree? This would have to be the worst game of the season, right? For the simple fact that Jalen Hurts turned the ball over 3 times. Boston Scott fumbled. We had 2 turnover on downs. So many things went into this loss. Coaching was all over the place. So many topics to get into. So many things to dissect when it comes to this Philadelphia Eagles team. The Eagle has landed. The Eagles have landed, and they landed hard. No landing gear, no seatbelt, just crashed and burned in this game. Didn't put up a single point until the fourth quarter. What's up, family? Terrible game, like you said, man. A lot did go wrong. A lot. There were on so many separate occasions where guys were dropping touchdowns, turnovers, penalties. This was the definition of beating yourself and not controlling the controllables. Isn't that what Jalen Hurts always says? Control the controllables. Don't worry about what's going on outside of what we can control. Well, today, this team did not control the uncontrollables. Or did not control the uncontrollable, excuse me. This team, this team just totally showed that they still have a lot of work to do. I'm watching the game, and I'm watching the play call sequencing. The sequencing of the play calls. There were moments in this game where Nick Sirianni threw the ball 3 times in a row. He called three passing plays, in a row. 3 passing plays in a row. And he just didn't look. No one looked like they were locked in completely. But I don't believe in moral victories at all. But the defense came through, did exactly what I expected. The defense held the New York Giants to 13 points. And what did we do? We couldn't even muster up 2 touchdowns. We were in the end zone on different occasions, and we either turned the ball over or turned it over on downs. Jalen Reagor. Wow. You see, you don't think things can get worse than this for a player. Because when you're a first-round pick, you're always going to have the opportunities to redeem yourself. But is this God honestly redeemable? Is this redeemable for Jalen Reagor? Because I believe Jalen Hurts had a bad game, yes. But I also feel like Jalen Hurts put this team in numerous positions to steal the game, especially in the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, Jalen Hurts put us in situations to steal the game again. But we fumbled. We turned the ball over on downs. This is a gut punch. This is the type of loss that you can either lose yourself or find yourself in. This Eagles team has to not lose sight of the fact that regardless of how things may look today, the playoffs is still something that's very possible. You want to know why? Because the Minnesota Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers play each other today, and one of them has to lose. The seventh seed is still within reach, but you've made your journey 10 times harder. My man, the Goat Michi, what's going on? He says Greg Ward dropped a TD and Rager misses 2 TDs. What the fuck? Absolutely. What the fuck, bro? How the hell do you explain the incompetence at wide receiver? Jalen Rager had 7 targets. 7 targets to Devontae Smith's 4. And then you targeted Jalen Rager twice on 2 key drives. On the final key drive, you targeted him twice. And he failed you the first time, and you still went to him. For what I'm hearing, Devontae Smith went to Nick Sirianni and told him, I want the ball. Throw me the ball on this drive. I want the moment. I want it. And Nick Sirianni did the exact opposite. He went to his counterpart in Jalen Rager, former first-round pick in 2020. Just piss poor from Nick Sirianni. Piss poor from Jalen Rager, most specifically. Devontae Smith only had 4 targets, 2 receptions for 22 yards. We didn't get the ball to him enough. And it's funny because, yes, before the game and prior to, we were talking about, we had to find a way to get our weapons involved the right way. We had to find a way to get Jalen Rager and Quez Watkins involved the right way. But what I saw today, I saw Nick Sirianni try to force feed a bust of a first-round pick. I saw Nick Sirianni trying to force feed Quez Watkins when it didn't seem natural. Not once throughout this game did Jalen Rager or Jalen Hurts, look comfortable. Dallas Goedert only had 3 targets. Quez Watkins and Jalen Rager had more targets than Dallas Goedert. Now, look, we told you to get the ball to your guys. Yes, we definitely said that. But the last thing we said was force feed them. When we said get these guys involved, we meant get them involved in creative ways that utilize their strengths. Don't try to force Jalen Hurts to turn into a gunslinger and just throw these ill-advised passes. Jalen Hurts looked indecisive. He looked uncomfortable. He looked like he did not wake up on the right side of the bed. Another game that we were supposed to win. Another game that we were supposed to win. I'm looking at these numbers. Jalen Hurts, 14 for 31, 129 yards, average 9 yards at the row, 3 interceptions, 1 sack. Jalen Hurts, I want to know why he eclipsed the 30 pass mark. We weren't running the ball early and often enough. We decided to run the ball in the second half, and we got a touchdown out of it. We forced throws downfield on our first handful of drives where we were able to get into the red zone. We turned the ball over. Jalen Hurts took points off the board. 2 different occasions we were in field goal position. Bare minimum, we get 6 points between those 2 red zone opportunities. But no, what happened was Jalen Hurts turned the ball over. He was inaccurate, inefficient, uncomfortable, indecisive. Nick Sirianni you have a lot of explaining to do because for 4 games straight, you played like a coach that knew his talent, knew what worked, and knew how to win games. And then the moment you come across a team that looks dead in the water, you take your foot off the gas and change your game plan and revert back to your old ways. There were many drives where we threw the ball 3 times in a row. There were many drives where we threw the ball more than we ran it. Not taking advantage of a guy like Boston Scott early and often enough. Miles Sanders getting hurt at one point. Miles Sanders had 9 attempts, 64 yards, averaged 7 yards a carry. Longest run of the day was 27 yards. No fumbles. Boston Scott, 15 attempts, 64 yards, averaged 4 yards a carry, 1 touchdown. Longest run of the day was 12 yards, a fumble lost in a crucial moment. There was a moment where I thought, we're going to win this game. I was nervous. I was talking to my dad. I said, Dad, I don't know if we're going to win. He said, yo, listen, we in this game. Don't worry about it. My faith was restored. But unfortunately, they stole that faith. They stole all our faiths. They appear to be frauds. Nick Sirianni especially. This was a bad New York Giants team. They couldn't even get 14 points on us. They put up 13. 13. And we only can muster up 7. We got 12 people in the live stream. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Thank you guys for locking in. As you already know, I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And if you've been loyal to the soil, you're loyal to the channel. You already know what my heart is. You know how we get down here at Chalk It Up Sports Philly, regardless of how things turn out. So many things to discuss. Jason Kelce went out with an injury. Nate Herbig came in for a handful of drives. Was absolutely abysmal. Incompetent. 2 key holding penalties. Took off a big play and then took off a touchdown by Boston Scott. It's not like we had penalties all over. There were key penalties. Steven Nelson with the pass interference. Put them at the 1-yard line. Wow. And it's funny because despite it all, I feel like a lot of people were waiting for Jalen Hurts to have this game. I feel like a lot of people were waiting for Jalen Hurts to really wet the bed, and they were waiting for him to be humbled. And it happened. It happened, and the best you can say, the best you can muster from it is he got to wear it. There's no way you turn the ball over 3 times like that. It wasn't like the defense made explosive plays or made plays on the wide receiver or jumped the route. No, they were literally poor throws. They were poor throws. This is a very interesting point, Michi. But now I see why Hurts only targets Smith and Dallas Goedert. It's crazy because Quez Watkins actually had a good play here and there, but he only had 5 targets, 2 catches. JJ Arcega-Whiteside took care of his business when the ball came his way, believe it or not. Just unacceptable. When you're running the ball you still put up over 200 rushing yards on this team. Still. You put up 208 rushing yards. We may not have dominated time of possession, but we had more opportunities on the ball. We had 65 plays to their 58. It's not supposed to be this way. You dominated the total play calls. You only had 4 penalties, really. Over 200 rushing yards. You know what the problem was? We turned the ball over. When you turn the ball over, you lose. We talked about this in the pregame. Me and my man, Philly Foothills from the Nest Out West. Make sure you guys go subscribe to him. You cannot turn the ball over and give them good field position. Any quarterback will take advantage. So, where do we go from here? How will this team bounce back? Shout out to my man Philly. Just painful. This was an ugly game. Ugly. This is absolutely ugly. And they need to look in the mirror this week. They got the Jets next week. We got the Jets next week, and a lot of people are now saying we might lose to them. I'm sick, man. Eagle Slayer, you might be onto something. I knew Howard being out would affect us drastically. It changes things. It changes the way you attack the game. It changes the way you play call. But I also feel like just because Jordan Howard wasn't there, you didn't have to deviate from the run like that. The run was working. The run was working. You had over 200 yards. They couldn't stop your run game. You're right, Michi. Daniel Jones ain't do shit. Daniel Jones, he was 19 for 30, threw for 200 yards, 1 touchdown, and ran for 30 yards. Those are not stellar numbers. He managed the game, literally. He managed the game. Defense gave plenty of opportunities. Defense saved the offense on numerous occasions. Offense didn't take care of their business. Offense are the ones that didn't take care of their business. This is sickening. It's funny how quickly a team can rise and they can take care of their opponents. The opponents that they weren't even supposed to beat. No one thought we would beat the Broncos. No one thought we would beat the Saints. We took care of business. Ran in on the number one run defense. Running was not the issue, but running was not the motive today. There were moments where we were trying to force feed the ball in the air. Just run the rock. They can't score. The world is your oyster, Nick Sirianni. Run the rock. They can't stop it. You have a quarterback in Jalen Hurts that can do so much with his athleticism. And we didn't take advantage of that enough. Man, I feel bad for Philly 500. I feel bad. I feel so bad for Philly 500. So many chances. Chance after chance after chance after chance after chance. Like I said, even though Jalen Hurts had a bad game, there were many times where Jalen Hurts was able to pull things out of nowhere, and we were able to get in scoring position, but we turned the ball over. It's just unacceptable. The way he was, I'm not going to lie, Jalen Hurts looked very uncharacteristic. It looked uncharacteristic. It looked uncharacteristic. I don't know why you don't run the rock when you're on the 2. What's good, Jay Young? How you feeling, man? Daniel Jones is trash, man. Like, he's trash. He's so bad. He's so bad, and we still found a way to make him look like a competent quarterback. We're keeping Daniel Jones in the NFL. We had a chance to put them in the coffin. Had a chance to put him in a coffin numerous occasions in the red zone, numerous occasions moving the rock. We turned the ball over 4 times. Nick Sirianni's play calling was so haphazard. Michi says it's me or did Jalen Hurts look pissed off at times during the game? He did. He did look pissed. He was trying to get the ball to the guys that was in the game plan, and they still couldn't get it done. You're right, man. I think it's over for Jalen Reagor. I think it's over. I think it's over for Jalen Reagor, man. You can't squander opportunities like today. These are the kind of games that define you. You can't squander stuff like this, man. I know Devontae Smith was pissed. He threw his helmet on the sideline because he wanted that ball. Devontae Smith wanted it, man. Jalen Reagor didn't want it. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're a better team when we have a power back. And that's what I firmly believe. I believe that this Eagles team is a better team when we have a power back who's complimentary. The Eagles lost 7-13. Didn't put up a point into the fourth quarter. My stomach hurts, you guys. I have a headache. I have a headache watching this game. I have a headache. Nate Herbig, you took a touchdown off the board. Jalen Hurts, you took a touchdown off the board. At minimum, Jalen Hurts took 10 points off the board. You was on the 2, and then you could have kicked the field goal earlier in the game, which you threw the interception. Boston Scott took points off the board. We were in field goal range, but we needed a touchdown. Opportunity after opportunity squandered. Just squandered. You guys clearly see that I'm frustrated. Y'all clearly see that I'm pissed off, but it's like, why pull my hair out? Why pull my beard out? Why? They find ways to lose these kind of games, right? This is who the Eagles are. This is who they've been. So you damn right, I'm going to continue to hold this team accountable. I don't care how bad you look. The accountability will never change. Why were we so quick to pass the ball in goal line situations? The accountability would not stop. This team disappointed themselves. They gave away a gimme game. They gave away a gimme game. The Giants only put up 13 points. They barely was able to get. They missed the field goal. Should have been 16 points. For real. They barely were able to get in the red zone. They only got there about maybe 3 times. We had so many red zones, so many scoring opportunities. This is honestly a gut wrencher. But here's the thing, right? It's really easy to jump the gun, jump out the window. It's really easy to completely crucify this team. But we're still developing, right? There's a lot of things about this team that still need to grow, that still need to mature, that still need to be nurtured. There's a certain level of intensity that comes with playing a division game. And a lot of these young guys don't understand the gravity of it. This offense did not understand the gravity of this game. Defense came to play. And I don't believe in moral victories. But at the end of the day, it happened the way it happened. Defense only allowed 13 points. Jonathan Gannon, good job, sir. Good job. Sure, things were bending and not breaking, but, you know, there were moments, there were only, I'll be honest, man, most of the time, I think they put up all their points on our turnovers. I think they put up most of their points on our turnovers. We got 9 people in the live stream. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you hit that like button. Really helps the content move. I'm really curious to know what were they thinking with the game plan this week. What was Nick Sirianni thinking? This is the part where I get real frustrated because it makes me really question, like, what were they thinking? What was on their minds? What was in their spirits? Did they feel like they needed to gunsling it against this haphazard, sorry excuse of a team, New York Giants? Did they think they were going to go in there and just sling the rock and abuse them like that? Why did we get out of character? I'm so glad I'm here to talk to you guys because I need to vent my way, our way. Tell me how y'all feeling right now. God damn. Philly Pop says, why doesn't Dickerson play center? Herbert can't handle the responsibility. Every time he takes over, he creates havoc. But when he went back to guard, he didn't commit a single penalty. You're absolutely right, Philly Pop. You're absolutely right, Pop. Absolutely. Nate Herbig is not a center. He's not a center. That's not his style, not his MO. He can't snap the ball and guard at the same time or block at the same time. He can't do it. He cannot snap the ball and block at the same time. He's not good at it. And you're absolutely right. He plays guard. He's a guard. He's not a center. This is like the second or third time he's come in this season and wreaked havoc, like Pop said. This is wild. This is spot on. He created 2 penalties today, 2 holding calls that took a big play off of the stat sheet and took points off the board, a touchdown. That cannot happen when you're trying to win games, when you're trying to make a playoff push. You cannot be this undisciplined. I'm watching this game and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are they doing? Steven Nelson, oh my God. We can't bring him back next year. He's just not the guy. Steven Nelson's not the guy. He was getting picked on all game. Like we were. Is Nick Sirianni the coach for Jalen Hurts? Maybe we need to ask ourselves that. Because things seemed like they were working for the past 4 weeks. It seemed like finally Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts were on the same page. But then the moment they get success, the moment they start to establish some level of notoriety around the league for their physicality, for their aggressiveness in the run game, the moment teams start to respect their run, he goes away from it. The moment he has a signature win over a signature defense, He gets away from what got him there. Why is that the case? Why did he feel the need to blatantly force a regression on Jalen Hurts? Nick Sirianni blatantly created a regression in Jalen Hurts. I know Jalen Hurts made some bad, ill-advised throws, but it seemed like he was trying to do the most with the play calling. And Nick Sirianni forced a regression. Did Nick Sirianni force a regression on his quarterback? Because whenever we ran the ball, whenever we allowed Jalen Hurts to be Jalen Hurts, we were productive on offense. But whenever Jalen Hurts was trying to execute what Nick Sirianni wanted to do, it just seemed like nothing ever worked. It seemed like everything was like pulling teeth. Everything was a chore. Everything was a chore today. We could have been a 500 team today. Now we're 2 games away from 500. Now the best record we could possibly hope for is 10-7. Still a fairly good record for a rebuilding team. And that's the thing we have to remember, you guys. We are still a team that's rebuilding. Sure, it was fun watching this team be successful these past 4 weeks with the running game and establishing some respect around the league and the offensive line doing their thing and, the defense forcing turnovers. But what happens when your defense isn't forcing turnovers? Or what happens when your head coach calls you out of a game, plays you out of a game? What happens when your other team is turning the ball over? Can you respond? This team is still maturing. This team is still growing. But you can't drop games like this that you're supposed to win against a team who has literally lost their souls. They have no identity, the New York Giants. They barely have a quarterback, barely have an offensive coordinator, and we allowed this team to have some confidence. We threw 3 interceptions to their lowly defense. Just sad. Just absolutely sad. So what's next for the Birds? What's next? What do we expect to go forward from here? Huh? You know what? I'm sick. I'm disgusted. Like Hurts this is a good point. T. Lewis Birdgang says Hurts is lucky there isn't any true quarterback talent in this draft, or he'd be done. That's a good point. If there was even some talent in this draft, you have to ask, like, would this team have even, would they still have faith in him after this performance? It's crazy how things can just shift like that. Things can just flip on you. It's really crazy how things can just flip. It was a trap game, you guys. It was a trap game. We shut down Saquon Barkley for the most part. He had that 32-yard run, and that was it. He had a 32-yard run, and that was it. We shut down Saquon Barkley for the better part of this game. Let's think about that too. Other than that 32-yard run, he only accumulated 8 yards on 12 attempts. That's crazy, right? We shut down Daniel Jones rushing. 9 attempts, 30 yards, 3. Only averaged 3 yards a carry. D. Booker, their running back, 10 yards on 3 attempts. For the better part of this game, we held them to below 3 yards a carry. We held them to about 3 yards a carry. They couldn't run the ball on us. We were able to run the ball, but you know what happened? Nick Sirianni had boneheaded situational moments. Players were dropping the ball. Jalen Hurts turned the ball over. Uncharacteristic of him. Just uncharacteristic. Man. Nick Sirianni wants to have this pass-heavy offense so bad. So bad. So bad. But it's not working. The team is still developing. Your quarterback is not ready to execute the plays that you want to execute. His deep ball accuracy is not there yet. He's still developing. Put him in positions to be great, not positions to take unnecessary risk. Man. Now, look, there were times on that field where Giants wide receivers were getting open. But it seemed like we couldn't get nothing going for ourselves. You know, this game definitely puts a dent in the Jalen Hurts sweepstakes. This game definitely makes it harder for Jalen Hurts to prove his case as the franchise quarterback. You can't turn the ball over the way he turned the ball over. One interception is one thing. He threw three to three different guys. He had a hat trick in the interception department. He had a hat trick. So many questions. Not enough answers. So many questions, not enough answers. You're right. We don't have a legit number 2 wide receiver. Hell, is Devontae Smith a number 1? They need help. They need help. Oh, this changes things. We're 0-2 in the division. Not good. Not good at all. Now, like I said, this team still has a chance to go 10-7. A very decent record. A very decent record. If and when this team is developing. A decent record for a team that's trying to get it together. If you can go above 500, a rebuilding team with a new head coach, a pseudo rookie quarterback, not a bad season, right? But these kind of losses hurt the grand scheme of things. They hurt. They hurt, man. I didn't expect this. I expected. Now look, I know my score prediction was pretty drastic, right? I said 38-20, but I still expected the game to be competitive, and then we just run away with it at the end. But this was just wild, man. This was crazy. So we have the Jets next week. The Jets, right now, the Jets won today. The Jets beat the Texans. So now they have the confidence of a win coming into next week. They're confident. We need to get this win against the Jets and take it into the bye week. We need to beat the Jets and get a win and take it into the bye week. We need that. The Jets won today. They beat the Texans. The Jets are 3-8. We lose to the Jets, we go 5-8. We can't afford to go 5-8. because then that puts our record chances at only 9-8, which is 7. That's it's still a game above 500, but the expectations for this team are higher because you're running up against opponents that you're supposed to beat. You're supposed to beat the New York Giants. You're supposed to beat them. They gave you every opportunity to win this game. Look, I'm an emotional guy, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I love my Philadelphia Eagles like life itself. My wife, she gets on my ass about how much of a diehard fan I am. She says, "Yo, that's all you know. That's all you care about. The football season, it's like you're a ghost. It's like you're a zombie. You're just locked in on football." I'm like, "You're damn right. This is my Philadelphia Eagles. I ride for them. We die together. Bad boys for life." And if we lose to the Jets, like T. Lewis just said, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, T. Lewis, if we lose to the Jets. It's a wrap. This team has a lot of soul searching to do. You cannot lose to the Jets. You were not supposed to lose today. Now we need the Cowboys to lose one more time. We need the Cowboys to lose at minimum 2 to 3 games. We need the Cowboys to, on this final stretch, and this includes our matchup with the Cowboys. We need the Cowboys to lose 3 games. Now, I'm not going to jump out the window and say put Gardner Minshew in. That's a little bit blasphemous, you guys. Jalen Hurts had a bad game. I'm not going to crucify the man for it. He had a bad game, and he has to wear it. Everybody had a bad game on offense. It was a bad game. Nick Sirianni called a bad game. I put this game more on Nick Sirianni. He called these pass-heavy packages or plays, and he took his quarterback out of his comfort zone. He tried to turn his quarterback into a big play guy, a deep ball thrower. He didn't allow his quarterback to bounce over the running game. We still put up over 200 yards on the ground. This running game is still existing. Play to it. Just play to it. That's all it takes. That's all you have to do. Play to your strengths. Just play to your strengths. Man, you guys, all I know is we got a lot of soul searching to do. I got my venting out the way. This is a rough loss. This Philadelphia Eagles has a lot to clean up on offense, especially. The offense has to clean things up. Nick Sirianni, play to your team's strengths. You're a head coach. You're going to be here if the team wins. Wins mean more than anything. Win the games. Call winning football. You can't try to fit a square peg in a round hole. Call winning football. Run the ball. Your team is going to grow. Your team is going to develop and do what you want it to do at some point. You have to get the talent in them to do that. But right now, your talent dictates that you become a run-heavy team. Grow with your team. Don't force your game plan down your team's throat. Allow your team to grow into your game plan. This team is a running team right now. We're a run-heavy team. Play to that strength. Play to that. Teams haven't been able to stop you so far. You're still able to run for over 200 yards on the ground. We should have had 300 yards if we were running the ball the way we're supposed to. We should have had 300 yards. We should have had 270 yards rushing if we ran the ball the way we were supposed to. We put up 200 yards on them, and it was a bad game for us. Make that make sense, Nick Sirianni. Jalen Hurts, make that make sense with the four with the 3 interceptions. You can't do that to your team. Those are drive killers. Nate Herbig, those are drive killers. The blitz. Now, one thing I will say, when we blitzed, for some reason, we couldn't get penetration. We didn't sack Daniel Jones not one time. We sacked Daniel Jones only one time. Does Fletcher Cox listen? We stopped the run. I want to make that very clear, you guys. We stopped the run. They only had 70 rushing yards. We beat them in the. They only had 70 rushing yards. We stopped the run. We forced Daniel Jones to try to beat us with his arm. He really couldn't. We just couldn't put points on the board. The defense came through and stopped the run. Saquon was a non-factor. You take away that 32-yard run, he only had 8 yards on, 12 carries? He finished the game with 13 carries, 40 yards. His longest run of the day was 32 yards, averaged 3 yards a carry. Derek Barnett actually played a decent game. But Saquon Barkley only had 13 attempts, 40 yards, 40, averaging 3 yards a carry. His longest run of the day was 32 yards. You take away that 32-yard run he had, he only accumulated 80 yards on the ground on 12 attempts, averaging less than a yard per carry. In the passing game, Daniel Jones only had 4 catches, 13 yards. Longest catch of the day was 8 yards. The biggest play of the day that the defense allowed was a 20-yard catch to Evan Ingram. That was it. We kept everything 20 yards and below. Daniel Jones didn't complete any pass over 20 yards. Defense showed up today. The running backs were shut down for them today. Offense, where the hell were you? Like, I don't know where this team goes from here, you guys. For the simple fact that the head coach seems like he regressed himself in this game. The head coach regressed. Maybe I'm being an extremist today. I'm fresh off a loss. We're fresh off a loss. But the bottom line is Nick Sirianni regressed today. He went back to his old ways today. You saw it. We all saw it. Man, the best we can hope for, you guys, is 10-7. 10-7. The best we can hope for is 10-7. And that's not a bad record when you're rebuilding. That's not a bad record when you're rebuilding. 10-7. And my thing is, we didn't lose this game because of talent. We lost this game because of execution and just poor play calling. I'm questionable if this Eagles team can win the next 5 games straight. Can we beat the Washington football team? Washington plays tomorrow, Monday night. Right now, Right now, the Vikings and the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco was up 28-20. If the Vikings lose, they fall to 5-6, which still gives us a chance at the 7th spot. Buccaneers beat the Colts. Colts are 6-6. Dolphins beat the Panthers today. Dolphins are 5-7. Panthers are 5-7. So we still have a chance to get a playoff spot. Still. And that's a 7-7. And the Falcons are 5-6. The Falcons won today. We're still in the hunt for a playoff spot, believe it or not. We're still in the hunt. Bears are 4-7. It's sad to say, but we're still in the hunt because every team is so competitive this year. We're still in the hunt. If we win 5 straight games, we go 10-7, then you give yourself a fair shot to make the playoffs. You give yourself a shot. Can the Eagles do it? I don't know. But I'll leave it at that, you guys. I'm your humble host, Tone DeShields II from Chalk It Up Sports Philly, where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. Really appreciate you guys for locking in on the content. You know, a lot has happened today. I'm hurt. I'm exhausted. I'm annoyed. But you know what? We're going to be better for this. Jalen Hurts will bounce back. This team has to bounce back. Nick Sirianni, please play to your team's strength. Defense, good job today, only allowing 13 points. But that's all I have, you guys. One love, stay humble, stay healthy, and most importantly, stay hungry. And fly Eagles fly.